"Useless barren woman, get out of my house right now!" Joe's voice echoed through the quiet estate as he pushed Gloria to the floor. The security men and workers froze in shock. All heads turned toward Gloria, who sat helplessly at the doorway, tears streaming down her face. "Please, Joe, please don't do this to me," she begged, her voice shaking. But instead, Joe grabbed her worn-out black suitcase and flung it outside. It landed just inches from her ribs with a loud thud. 10 years, Gloria. 10 solid years, and you've given me nothing. Not even one child. Yet you had the guts to hurt the woman carrying my baby? I swear I didn't do anything," Gloria cried, falling to her knees. "She's lying." But Joe's anger burned hotter. "Enough! I saw everything with my own eyes. Enough of your manipulation." "Joe, please don't leave me," she sobbed. "Our inability to have a child was never my fault. It was yours. Don't let my story become a folktale of love and betrayal." "Shut up, you fool," Joe shouted. "Everyone knows it's your fault. It's always the woman's fault. All I've gained from you is pain and barrenness. Just look at her. She's carrying the proof of my fertility. You brought nothing but disgrace into my home. Thank God for blessing," he added coldly. "She brought joy and happiness into my life." Behind him, his mistress, Blessing, folded her arms and smiled proudly. "Joe, my love," she said sweetly, "the woman who gives birth to a child is the real wife. We don't need a buffalo like this one eating your food without being productive." She rubbed her belly dramatically. "And she even had the nerve to hurt my child? Just look at her. Her life is a story of betrayal and deceit. I'm afraid for my child if she continues to stay," Blessing said, wincing dramatically as if she's in pain. Joe rushed to her side instantly, pampering her like a fragile egg. Gloria's heart shattered further. She knew it was her word against theirs, and it was clear she was losing. Clinging to her last bit of hope, she whispered through tears, "Joe, you promised to love me forever. Please don't leave me." Joe scoffed. "Love? That was before I found out you're barren. Get out now." Without another word, he dragged her up roughly and shoved her toward the door. "You'll leave with nothing, except that useless suitcase you brought into this house." Gloria's trembling hands picked up the bag as Joe slammed the door in her face. She stood there, broken, humiliated, surrounded by pitying eyes. She looked up at the mansion that once held her laughter and dreams. The memories, the betrayal, the pain, all flooded her mind at once. Then she let out a heart-wrenching scream that pierced through the quiet estate. Nothing hurts more than the betrayal of trust. That was when she remembered the warning, the decision that changed everything. So this is how her life became the kind of African story with a moral lesson. The kind our mothers used to warn us about, she thought, walking into the dark street, with nothing but her broken suitcase and her shattered heart. Inside, Blessing smiled in victory as she watched Gloria's silhouette fade into the night. She thought Gloria's story had ended. If only she knew, this was just the beginning. A tale of love, deceit, and karma that would shake the village for generations. Hello everyone, welcome to African Folktale by Fahbam, home of African folktales filled with moral lessons. Before we continue, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you've ever made a decision in love that you later regretted, tell us in the comments. Also, let us know where you're watching from. Are you in New York, Jamaica, South Africa, or Nigeria? Let's know where our audience are. Just as Gloria disappeared completely out of sight, Blessing smiled wickedly, cuddling Joe's arm as if she had finally won. She believed Gloria would never escape the trap she had carefully set for her. Meanwhile, every step Gloria took brought unbearable pain to her heart. She had nowhere to go, no parents, no friends, and her only family, her mother, had died amidst the chaos of her broken life. The night grew darker, and the wind whispered strange sounds. Gloria could feel it, a cold presence following her, watching her every move. Her heart screamed for her to run, but her body was too weak. Her tears mixed with heartache as she stumbled down the lonely road. Suddenly, she froze in shock. 4 men emerged from the shadows, their tall, bulky figures blocking the narrow street. Their eyes gleamed with danger as they drew closer, their voices low and mocking. "So it was you causing problems for our madam in her husband's house?" one sneered. Gloria stepped back, her heart pounding so hard as she clutched her small suitcase to her chest. Her lips trembled. "Please, I don't want any trouble." But they only laughed. "You should have thought of that before you crossed our madam," another said coldly. "Now deal with the consequences of your actions." Tears streamed down Gloria's cheeks as fear gripped her heart. She knew this was Blessing's doing. The trap had been set long before today. "Please," she cried, "I'm innocent. Don't hurt me." But the men moved closer, their devilish grins widening as they surrounded her. Just when it seemed her end had come, a pair of headlights flashed from the corner of the street. A car racing fast, its horn blaring loudly. The men turned in shock, and in that moment, Gloria ran, barefoot, breathless, desperate for life. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew she had to keep running. Because if she stopped, her story might truly end that night. But just when she thought she had escaped, a speeding car came out of nowhere, and everything went black. In that split moment between life and death, everything flashed before Gloria's eyes. Once upon a time, before pain took over her life, before betrayal tore her world apart, Gloria was the pride of her village, the girl every man wished for, and every woman admired. Her beauty wasn't just in her face, it lived in her heart. She had a gentle soul, a smile that could melt anger, and a spirit full of hope. Among all her friends, only one stood closest, her best friend, Blessing. They were like twin sisters born on different days, sharing clothes, secrets, food, and even dreams. Everyone called them the twins that never fought. Then one day, fate introduced them to the same man, Joe. He wasn't rich, not even close, a handsome man struggling to survive. He picked scraps in the market, pretending to be a trader, hiding his pain behind a mask of confidence. The moment Joe saw Gloria, his eyes lit up with hope. "I'll make this angel my wife," he whispered to himself. Then he moved closer to where Gloria and Blessing were chatting at the market. Gloria was busy bargaining with a trader, while Blessing's eyes caught Joe first. She smiled and blushed as he walked closer. Her heart fluttered, thinking he was looking at her. But when Joe finally spoke, his eyes were fixed on Gloria. Blessing's smile faded for a moment, but she quickly covered her disappointment with laughter. Gloria didn't notice her best friend's discomfort. Her shy heart already felt something she couldn't explain. There was something about Joe that drew her in. Maybe it was his charm, or the way he looked at her like she was the only light in his dark world. Meanwhile, beside Gloria, Blessing burned with jealousy. The thin line between love and envy snapped inside her heart. She couldn't understand why everyone always chose Gloria. Why did Joe pick her again? From that day on, Joe and Gloria became inseparable. They walked together in the market, shared food, shared dreams, and soon began to plan a future together. The stronger the bond between Gloria and Joe, the more Blessing jealousy deepened. Her smile hid her pain, though her lips still said, "I'm so happy for you, my friend." But deep inside, envy took root. As months passed, Gloria and Joe's love grew stronger. When she told her mother about him, how she was ready to build a future with the poor but handsome man, her mother frowned. "My daughter, love doesn't cook food. Poverty can break even the strongest heart. You can only know a man's heart when he has money. Be patient. Know this man well, or at least be stable before marrying him." But Gloria only smiled and held her mother's hands. "Mama, love is all I need. We'll build our happiness together." A year later, she married Joe, not because of wealth, but because she truly believed in love. Their wedding was simple. No gold, no lace, just two hearts promising to face life together. But love alone wasn't enough. At first, their marriage was filled with laughter and love. They weren't rich, but peace lived in their little home. They would sit together, share one meal, and still thank God for it. To Gloria, love was enough. To Joe, it used to be. But as days turned into nights and nights into years, love began to fade beneath the weight of hunger. Their roof leaked when it rained. Joe's only pair of shoes had holes, and Gloria often went to bed hungry just to make sure he ate. Still, she smiled through the struggle. "As long as we have each other," she would whisper, "we'll be fine." But Joe was no longer fine. The mocking gazes from neighbors pierced his pride. The laughter from men in the street. "Ah, Joe, is your wife now with child?" Those words burned his soul. Every night he sat at the edge of their bed, staring into the darkness. He said nothing. He just breathed heavily, lost in thought. Gloria would wake up, reach for his shoulder, and whisper softly, "Joe, have faith, my love. We will rise one day. I believe in you." That night, Joe cried quietly in her arms. But tears didn't wash away the pain. They only watered the bitterness growing inside him. 2 years passed. No food, no money, no child. Joe's laughter disappeared completely. His smile became a stranger. His eyes were cold, distant, like a man drowning in his own thoughts. He wanted more: wealth, power, respect, children to carry his name. And Gloria could feel him slipping away, like sand falling through her fingers. She prayed, she cried. Every night she begged heaven to bless them. But when tears brought no answer, desperation crept into her heart. She was willing to do anything to help her husband rise again, to give him the life he desired, to build the perfect family she dreamed of. So she went to the one person she trusted the most, Her best friend Blessing. She didn't know that was the beginning of her downfall. She didn't know that the woman she called sister would soon destroy her life completely. That day when Gloria stepped into Blessing's compound, she almost didn't recognize her old friend. Blessing was different now. New clothes, new shoes, a sitting room that spoke of money and people who mattered. She smelled of perfume and success. The same girl who once shared yam porridge with Gloria now moved like a woman from another world. Gloria stood in the doorway, awed and confused by Blessing's new life. "Sit down, my sister," Blessing said, ushering her to a shaded porch. She poured tea with careful hands and fixed Gloria with a smile that felt like velvet over steel. "You look lost. Tell me everything," she cooed, offering the listening ear Gloria had always trusted. Gloria sank into the chair and let the years of suffering pour out. "My friend, I'm tired," she said, voice small. "They mock me in the market. They call me bad luck. Since I married Joe, everything has gone wrong. The business fell, we have no food, and worst of all, no child. I feel him slipping away, Blessing. I'm losing my husband." Blessing's eyes softened for a heartbeat, a perfect, practiced look. Inside, she was pleased. This was the moment she'd been waiting for. "I will help," Blessing said, sounding urgent and kind. "I'll speak to some sponsors. I know people who can find Joe suitable work. As for the child, we must check everything. We will test both of you." She told Gloria how she's now working in a big hospital firm part-time in Lagos. She went in and set a small specimen bottle on the table, as if it were nothing more than a cup. "Take this to your husband, get his sample," she instructed. "Then bring it to me. We'll go to the city. They'll run a full test on both of you. If something's wrong, we will fix it." Hope bloomed in Gloria's chest like the first green after a long dry season. She clutched the bottle and nodded, feeling lighter than she had in months. "Thank you, Blessing," she whispered. "You don't know how much this means." Blessing smiled with her full mouth and kept her eyes carefully blank. As Gloria left that afternoon, she walked with a new spring in her step, believing she had finally found a way out. Behind the gate, Blessing watched the thin figure shrink into the street. Her smile stayed, only now it was colder. "This is when the plan begins to move," she thought. "Now the seeds will grow, and Gloria will pay for the life she stole from me." When Gloria returned home that evening, her heart was light for the first time in a long while. Blessing had promised to help, and she believed her. She held that small bottle tightly, whispering to herself, "This might be the beginning of our miracle." Later that night, when Joe returned from the market, she told him everything, how Blessing wanted to help them test for fertility. Joe hesitated, ashamed, but Gloria held his hand. "Please, my love," she begged softly. "Let's just know where the problem is. Maybe after this, everything will change." After a long silence, he finally agreed. The next morning, she collected his specimen carefully, just as Blessing had instructed. She wrapped it neatly and hurried to her friend's house, unaware that she was walking straight into her downfall. Blessing smiled when she saw her. "You did well, my dear. I'll take this straight to the doctor myself. We'll have the result in no time." Gloria thanked her and left with joy in her heart, not knowing that the result had already been written before any test was done. Days later, Blessing visited with a calm, serious look. She sat beside Gloria and held her hands as if delivering sad news to a sister. "Gloria," she said gently, "I don't know how to tell you this." Gloria's heart raced. "What is it? Please talk to me." Blessing sighed deeply. "The doctor said Joe's specimen is weak. He's infertile." The words hit Gloria like thunder. "What? No, that's not possible." Blessing nodded slowly, pretending to be heartbroken. "I'm so sorry, my friend. I didn't want to believe it either, but that's what the doctor said." Tears filled Gloria's eyes. "Oh God, what will I do? He will be devastated." Blessing leaned closer, pretending to comfort her. "Listen, don't tell Joe anything yet. We can still make something out of this. You love him, right?" "With all my heart," Gloria replied. "Then you must help him," Blessing continued softly. "Since he can't have children, at least let him have a good life. The doctor told me there's a new program in the city. Women donate their eggs and they get paid very well. If you do it, you can use the money to start a business for Joe. You'll make him rich, and when he's rich, you can both go abroad for treatment." Gloria blinked through her tears, trying to understand. "You mean sell my eggs?" "Yes," Blessing said calmly. "You have nothing to lose. It's not like you can use them now. Think about it. You'll be helping your husband. You'll be his miracle." Gloria sat there, confused but hopeful. Blessing's voice sounded so convincing, her eyes filled with fake compassion. In her heart, Gloria thought, Maybe this is God's way of lifting us. She agreed, but on one condition. I must tell my mother first, she said. Blessing's eyes flashed with disappointment, but she quickly masked it with a smile. All right, I'll be expecting your feedback, she said, forcing a laugh before leaving. That night, Gloria prayed with tears. God, I'm doing this for love. Please bless my husband through me. The next morning, she went to visit her mother, only to find people crying outside her compound. Her heart stopped. She ran inside, screaming her mother's name. It was too late. Her mother lay lifeless on the floor. Gloria fell beside her, shaking uncontrollably. Her mother had been perfectly fine the day before. She had never quarreled with anyone. Who could have done this? She wept bitterly, her cries echoing through the village. The neighbors consoled her, and she left everything to God. A week later, Blessing came again, this time with more urgency. My dear, time is passing. Let's do this for Joe. It's the only way. Broken and exhausted, Gloria finally agreed. Blessing took her to the same clinic, a clean building that smelled of medicine and deceit. Everything was arranged. The doctor greeted them with a smile that never reached his eyes. He took Gloria inside, asked her to sign papers she didn't understand, and told her not to worry. This will help your husband, he said. He gave her medication, tracked her ovulation, and marked a date for the egg retrieval. When the day came, Gloria was weak but hopeful. She held on to Blessing's words, believing she had done something noble for love. Days passed, weeks followed. Then money started coming in, little by little, through contracts and favors. Even the payment for the egg retrieval was sent directly to Joe, under the guise that Blessing had helped him secure business deals. Joe began to smile again, dressing better, moving with new friends from the city. Gloria thought her sacrifice was working. She was happy, even proud. But one day, she overheard something that froze her blood. Two women at the market whispered that Joe had been seen in Blessing's car, laughing, holding her hand. Her heart pounded. She refused to believe it, until Joe began to change. The richer he got, the colder he became. His eyes carried disgust when they fell on her. Neighbors whispered behind her back, "That woman is Barren. Maybe she has a bad past." Gloria took it all with grace. She never told anyone that it was her husband's fault. Over the years, she continued selling her eggs for her husband's comfort. The hormonal pills made her body heavier, her beauty fade, her spirit weaker. And though they moved to the city, into a mansion her sacrifice had built, she felt like a stranger in her own home. Lonely, invisible, like a maid living with the man who once swore to love her forever. That particular day, Blessing called her again to the clinic. Gloria made up her mind. This would be the last time. But just as the doctor began the procedure, something shocking happened. Something that would turn her life upside down forever. Watch out for part 2. You don't want to miss this.